Hello, welcome back to PRE Entertainment. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. We're going to be watching a video by Jubilee called Do All Self-Deletion Survivors Think the Same? I also might be answering some of these questions myself. I know they do ask their participants certain questions, and as someone that's experienced something similar, I might give my input based on my own personal experience. Thank you.
I don't think it does all the time, especially because there's so many things that can happen with any sort of mental illness, which makes it then a problem when you're trying to explain it to someone because they think, oh, like in 13 Reasons Why, and it's not always like that.
Sometimes they romanticize suicide.
Yeah, that TV show, 13 Reasons Why, as entertaining as it was, it did not portray mental health the most accurately. A person doesn't become so calculated when they're dealing with something traumatic mentally.
Depression in media, and it's kind of like a weird balancing act because there's some mental illnesses that are like seen as trendy or attractive, like anxiety or
And
depression.
like especially with Twitter and stuff like that, everybody's like talking about it, everybody's retweeting about it. It's not a trend. It's a
That is very true. People tend to self-diagnose themselves rather than going to see a qualified specialist. And I think social media has is giving people a way to gain attention through certain things, and mental health has allowed people to abuse that attention.
actual issue that people live with every single day. The media doesn't portray like people like myself. I'm a black lesbian woman and I've dealt with depression for a very long time. I've had suicidal thoughts. I've attempted it. So for me to not have that representation, it's kind of hard for me to relate to it.
Well, I think that the media it doesn't portray it correctly, but I also think that they're on the way up. It's not good now, but it's getting better, I think.
My family understands why I wanted to live.
I don't think I don't think social media is on its way up with or how it's portrayed in the media. I don't think mental health is on its way up. I think it's on a steady decline, actually. So, but with this next question, my family understands why I want to end my life. Um, I don't think people will understand because unless you're dealing with that battle in your head themselves, then no one will actually understand the feelings and certain steps that led you to make that action.
I left. 3, 2, 1.
The first time I attempted was in middle school, and that was kind of understandable for my mom and my sister because at that time we were going through a really nasty divorce. So when that happened in middle school, they kind of understood that that's what led to it. And then 2 years ago, I was drugged and assaulted. And that morning after I'd been found, it was such a traumatic experience that my mom walked out and I was just leaning over the balcony. And I remember breaking down crying because of the fact that I thought I was going to throw myself. So I think I was fortunate enough to have a family that was very understanding of everything I was going through.
I feel like my family didn't really understand. A lot of people still don't know like what's happened in my past. I was assaulted and attempted, and I was roommates with my best friend. She didn't even know. No one knew. So I was handling it all internally. And now that they kind of know more or less, like I just wish they would have talked to me. They would have asked questions because I was in college just all alone dealing.
Um, if people do know, they tend to feel uncomfortable and don't know what to say. I mean, it's not something you just speak to someone about because I mean, a lot of people don't even want to discuss why they made that certain action, or the issues that led them to attempt it. But yeah, I mean, these two have very similar reasons as to why they attempted, which is quite horrific for them.
With it by myself and no one knew.
In my family, my parents are both immigrants. My mom was a refugee, so everyone in my family struggled with severe mental health and PTSD, and we just never spoke about it. I think the focus was make sure you assimilate, make sure you, get a good job, make sure you're surviving, make sure people see you as, an American.
My family had a really hard time even understanding that I was struggling with mental health because they thought was doing so well in school and I have all these friends. I'm hanging out with them all the time. How could you have depression?
I mean, I just don't talk about it with my family. I mean, when I told my sisters that I was coming on here, they're like, "Oh, what's it about?" I was like, "Oh, it's called Suicide Survivors." And they're like, "Wait, did you?" I was like,
I didn't actually want to die. 3, 2, 1.
Every time I go through a depressive stage, I just want someone to hold me back. And that's why
Yeah, when I attempted, well, 3 times. Um, I actually did want to. um, um, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Uh, some days it does seem easier, but more so recently, I guess I just want to be happy, and I just want, I want life to be the way I envisioned when I was a kid. I envisioned a family. I envisioned, uh, you know, my parents being alive. I envision life a certain way, kids, a wife, coming home every day, seeing them. Just the average, like, normal white picket fence, hardworking dad, stay at home mom, etc. Type of family. But I'm 32 with none of that. And along with my physical health, the pain, uh, having someone I did love and them not loving me, at least not the way I wanted them to. Yeah, I mean, but I'm at the point to where giving up isn't really an option. It's always an option, but it's not one that I'm willing to take anymore. I'm learning to appreciate life more. And once you become more religious, I do think that taking your own life becomes less of an option because it's a sin. It's a pretty big sin. And the afterlife becomes something you look forward to. But I'm just rambling. I'm sorry. I kind of lost track of where I was going, but let's continue with the video.
I don't think I actually want to die. It's more like I want to live, but it's really hard to do that.
every moment that passed by, I was like more and more ready to like meet my maker. I saw it as like the easiest way out. go somewhere where no one can find me, and then I'll be all right. I don't know how I was found. You know, like somehow, some way, my friend like had a gut feeling, and then all of a sudden, like cops were like knocking on my window in my car.
I went above and beyond when I was trying to attempt. Um, Me and my sister, she was begging me to go to the doctor to tell someone. And I was very insistent, like, I don't want to. Um, so, in those moments, yeah, definitely, I did want to die, but it was only because I didn't know any other solution.
I definitely wanted to end it all at the moment that I was at. I was ready to end it, and I made sure that I was in a place where nobody could find me. Thinking back to when I was sitting in that creek and everything that was going on, I'm really happy that I got up and walked away. I had kind of an epiphany when I was down there and going in and out of consciousness that my life is valuable.
That's something that I really wanted to discuss. I don't think suicide is well, suicide is selfish, but it's something that shouldn't be held against the person that's doing it. When you feel the need to do it because you feel like it's your only option or your best option, you can't really judge someone based off of what they did because, I mean, you don't know the pain they're going through. You don't know the mental pain, the physical pain, the trauma they've been through, the things that have, led them to do that. And just a little tidbit for me personally, I think the first the first time I was 14, um, I was getting bullied at school, um, and I actually walked out of class, and the cops were called and everything. They went to my mom's house and my family's house. Um, I had I had taken some stuff, and then I woke up, and then I walked home pretty late. Second time was probably when I was in Job Corps, and I was also getting bullied there pretty badly. I got into fights, and I actually got stabbed one time. Actually twice. Once here, and it's uh, it's under my eye somewhere. But and the third time was after my mom passed when I was 18. Yeah, that was the worst one. Um, I wasn't thinking about how it affected my family. I did leave one note after the second attempt for my mom, because I mean, I knew she would miss me the most. I was her baby boy. Um, but I mean, yeah, suicide is selfish, but I mean, everything you do in life is selfish. I mean, literally, right now, I'm in Kansas City right now for work, and I'm leaving my niece there. And I mean, she texts me every day because she misses me. And I mean, I know she'd rather have me there, but I'd rather be here making money. Saying, and that's selfish. So I mean, everything we do in life is selfish. So to put all the blame on just one thing, or like to just shame one specific thing over everything else in life that's selfish doesn't really seem like the most productive thing to do.
3, 2, 1.
I think it is pretty selfish. It's a decision that you're making on your own. You're also not putting much consideration into your family members, your friends. And I think the effects of you killing yourself and leaving your friends and family behind could potentially lead to maybe one of them doing it. My mother, she was going through a divorce right around the time when I tried to kill myself. And she told me that she thought about it too. and that she wanted to, but she knew like when she saw me go through it that she couldn't. Killing yourself could be selfish uh, because of the other people that would be affected.
See, I get where you're coming from, but I also, for me, the first time I attempted, in my mind, that was going to be the option that would make things easier for my family. And even the second time, for me, it was what was going to make things easier because, in my mind, my family didn't want somebody that had just been drugged and assaulted. Like, that's a huge burden to be carrying. And
I'm not gonna lie. I've never attempted past the third attempt, but when I was at my highest and going through probably the worst time in my life, I never attempted. I don't know why, but I definitely thought about it plenty of times, and the main thing was my family would be better off without me. Um, if I had a gun, I know I would have attempted. If I had life insurance, um, it would have been easier. But I do know that if you kill yourself and you have life insurance, it like makes it null and void. But I mean, yeah, I've definitely thought about my family would be better off without me, especially if I had money. Um, Money is probably the biggest issue in my life right now. Not being able to help those I love. So yeah, some days I'm not gonna lie, e- even some days today, or like the last few years, last few weeks, last few months, I've definitely thought about it. I don't actually want to go. I just wish I had a way to leave and still provide for the ones I love. So, and if my death will give them money, I'd gladly die, even if it meant going to hell. So I didn't want to place that burden that I was going to have to go through and the financial burden of that on my family.
But I mean, look at all of us. I mean, we all thought that was our option. We thought that that was the way to go. And afterwards, we saw the benefits of actually surviving and not having to be dead.
And that's why I moved, is because I agree with everything that you said. And then I also agree with you about the family situation and about how thinking about your family and thinking about the people that love you. I recently just got reconnected with my biological father. If I would have ended my life at 16, that would have never happened. He would have found me and he would have got the horrible news like, oh, yeah, your daughter committed suicide at 16. So that aspect of it does make me feel like, yes, that is selfish because there are still people who I don't even know who love me.
I agree with you saying that suicide can be selfish because it's such a huge trauma to a lot of people. But for people going through that actual moment, what I felt most frustrated about was okay, people don't want me to die. People want me to live, but I don't know how I'm going to live because at that time, um, I didn't know if I could even start medical transition. I didn't, and I know trans people in Korea are not even employed. So how am I even gonna get a job? I need some kind of support to continue living, but that was so hard to find.
I am a happy person. Three, two, one.
yeah, I'm not happy. I'm just going through the motions, trying to make money, and hopefully I can become happy in life.
I think I once was like very unhappy and very dark on the inside, and I always portrayed being that friendly, outgoing person. Now I'm genuinely happy on the inside because I've worked so hard, equally as hard as I do on my physical fitness with my mental health. And being happy to me is feeling at one with yourself, which is sometimes just being alone, which is okay. And I feel like people make that like, oh, you're alone all the time, you're excluding yourself. No, it's not that. I'm taking that space for myself to get to be happy.
For me, I feel like happiness is a lot of pressure. Like, I don't want to measure myself on one emotion. I feel like there's the spectrum of different things you can feel. You can feel upset, you can feel happy, you can feel depressed. And For me, it's just I don't need to be in a constant state of it. So I think when we talk about happiness, it gets confusing because I think generally we're just saying, "Are you okay?" And to me, that's different.
I think a lot of people confuse being depressed with clinical depression. Um, de- being being dep- being dep- being depressed comes and goes. Clinical depression is like a chemical imbalance in your brain that you know that you need actual true help with. I was on duloxetine or what's it called, Cymbalta for a while, about 5 or 6 years. I actually actively quit taking it. I think early January of 2025. I went cold turkey for about 3 months, and I was going through the worst withdrawal symptoms I've ever had. But um, I knew that some of the things I was dealing with were actually due to that drug. So I'm currently not on anything. I just focus on, I keep my mind busy, read, draw, play games, make videos, work out. I think training is probably, sorry, my camera is a little crooked. Okay. I think training is probably the biggest factor to help me stay sane. It's also the thing that keeps me distracted the most, from the things that truly make me, sad. Let's continue the video.
It really saddens me that I am standing here because I know it will disappoint a lot of people around me because they all want happiness for me. And sometimes I feel like I need to be happy because I need to fulfill those people's wishes. But it's not actually that. It's supposed to be for my own sake. And like it's also like every day I struggle with a lot of things like being trans, being a non-US citizen who is trying to immigrate here, having family issues. So
And it's okay to not be okay. Like,
yeah,
don't feel like you have to be
and
forced to be happy. It's okay.
And that's the thing. Like, if you had asked me a month ago, I would have been standing over there with you. It's such
yeah.
a wave, but like the past week, it's been a good week for me. But I mean, a month ago, I would have been right over there.
To answer the question real quick, or probably not very quick knowing me, it gets better. Um, define better. I think that um it gets easier to deal with the pain. It gets easier to cope with it. You find different coping mechanisms to help you with it. But I don't think that the actual pain gets better. Um, so yeah.
I th-
I'm actually shocked that they're all on the strongly agree or somewhat agree section. I'm shocked.
think, in terms of the statement, it gets better. There's kind of a little tagline that comes after it that's, but it does take time. You don't heal right away. Sometimes you're gonna be in that dark place and you have to write it out and you just have to find that willpower inside yourself. And it's very hard sometimes.
I feel like something that I was told a lot growing up was that it doesn't get better and that life gets worse and all those things. Like it totally gets better. Everyone was wrong. Take those risks, like have faith in your own abilities, like push yourself as far as you can go. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 years and it gets better.
I feel like for me, I'm in a position of privilege because it did get better for me. I had access to resources. I had health insurance so I could see a therapist. I have a job, so I have financial stability. I don't think that everyone gets that. I don't think that everyone is dealt the same hand.
I'm on the side of agreement here. I think that time heals all. Earlier, I said I wasn't happy, but compared to where I was when I tried to kill myself, tremendously improved. I'm not in that deep, dark state of mind, and I do want to live. There's not, I mean, I still struggle with it, but I don't want to die.
And I
And I
think
think
that's all
that's
that
important.
matters. Our society is so adamant about, making it a point that, well, you have to get better quickly.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, right? You have to get better quickly, or you have to act like you're at least better quickly, and you don't. It's okay to act like you're not okay for.
Yeah, people don't want to know the real truth. If they ask you how you're doing, you're supposed to say, "Oh, I'm fine." You're supposed to give them some, generic response that makes them feel better, knowing that you're fine, so that they don't have to give your trauma or your issues any like substantial attention, because it's a question that people ask, but they don't really care if you're doing fine or not. Um, yeah.
For that time being. But as long as you get out of it and get there and take your time and do what you need, that's all that matters.
Can I get a hug? I feel like so much more
It gets
connected
better,
to-
everyone.
It does. Group hug.
Big group hug.
Yes. Oh. That was
I mean, sometimes it doesn't get better. But anyway, um, thank you for watching my reaction video. This is Prince Reacts Entertainment. Today was a little bit different than what I usually post. I guess I just wanted to do something different. I'll post a link to the original video in the comments or the description down below. If you enjoyed my commentary, or if you didn't, then leave me a comment below explaining why. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications for future uploads. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.